right? So any of those shots are thrown there. Same thing with the wrap. I'm trying to get my hand behind whatever the edge is that I'm throwing. Now, leg blows can be thrown a couple of different ways, so that it sort of breaks that rule. You can throw the wrap behind your body, you can throw the wrap in front of your body. They're just two different versions of the same blow, okay? But in general, they all do the same thing. Because this shield has three edges, I'm trying to get around this curved part, right? So get in your normal guard, right? So if we're here, and you know I have to step here to throw at your leg, right? And you know that's there. So before I can throw it, if you're in your normal position and you have more of a drop squat, not being lazy, right, now I go to throw, that shield's gonna push it down, right? So what I need is a shot that can hit that target that you can't see that will avoid that edge. So get in your guard. So instead of coming around here and throwing that blow, like we talked about, that's like way out here in space, good for its application, but because I want to stay here with you, I'm going to throw a blow that comes here. Okay? So look where my hand is. All right? So what I do is I have practiced it. So no, you don't hit one or whatever. And I know I'm watching this front edge, and if I see your shield's about right here, I know that I cannot get down here in time, or maybe I can, but it's really not a good idea because it's like throwing me way off this position, right? But I can throw here and try to hit you across the hamstring, and all I'm doing is, we talked about those oblique muscles, that's where all your power comes from. I'm crunching those down and I'm extending this side as I throw, all right? So it starts the same as the punch. It starts the same as dropping that, like, boom, I'm chopping wood, right? The change is, just like when you were throwing onside, offside, there's still a decision point at the point of your shoulder. That's the decision point, okay? So when the sword breaks that plane, that's when I have to make a decision. Am I throwing a flat snap or am I throwing a wrap? And if I know that I'm throwing a wrap, I'm starting back here and I drive with my feet, which brings everything around, right? And as soon as my hand gets to my shoulder, that's the launching point for a wrap. So it's, okay? And so it's exactly the same as coming here and twisting down. It's just as soon as it gets over, and so you can practice this by laying the sword on your shoulder and just pivoting your feet and your hips. And if you just let your hand go loose, you'll feel when the sword starts to want to come over, right? That's that point where you turn it into a whip. So get back in the guard. I'm here, right? And it's really easy. It doesn't take a lot of energy to do it. But most people throw wraps incorrectly. Why? They over-exaggerate the arc of the wrap. They see people throw wraps and they think that they have to throw the shot way out here like they're wrapping the sword around. What you're actually trying to do is have the shortest possible distance between you and your opponent, your sword and your opponent. So get in your guard. So rather than, now I can throw a shot like this, and it will hit, okay? There's better ways. But I can also, so the difference is throw it out like this, okay? Or just on a straight line, just pop. The trick to making sure that the wrap hits on the edge and not on the flat is where your thumb lines, okay? So, right, so for a leg blow, your thumb in general should be pointing, for these types of leg blows, your thumb should be pointing down, okay? If you are throwing, other ones you're going to have your thumb basically, actually, for you, don't think about that. Think about throwing your thumb up. What you're actually going to be doing is throwing your thumb parallel to the ground. But I want you to think about throwing it up. It's one of those exaggerated motion things, right? So get in your guard. So when you're throwing that chop, right, you're just throwing it down, and it's just boom, straight down. But with the wrap, it's the same motion, except I'm turning my thumb over so that when I end up, my thumb ends up like this. So now I'll put the shield behind you. So I'm gonna, or I guess just move it as best you can. So instead of throwing here, that's the front, boom. So I'm holding that energy and then exploding it. I'm throwing it from here, it's dropping down. So watch my hand. I'm gonna hit the back edge now. Like, I'm gonna hit that shield no matter what. You can angle it with steps so that the shot comes around to different targets, depending on what you're trying to hit. But essentially, you could throw the blow without moving in the same position you are in for your flat snap. It's just, instead of not, remember before when you were throwing and you were just hitting the shield constantly without stepping off line? Now that you can throw it on the inside, you can throw that wrap from here. You can also get them in a really bad position, because if you are just throwing your hand down and your sword staying on a straight line, boom, just right there, and I am moving way off this, so just do the same thing, and I'm moving way off this line, the sword is going to continue. If I go this way, it's also going to. So now, what I want you to do is, I want you to take your skids in your guard, and I want you to just lay your sword on your shoulder. Okay, just relax it, lay it on your shoulder. And I want you to practice driving this hip cock so that you can drive it forward with your feet right. And as you drive that forward, just let your hand come around. And what you're going to do is the back of that sword is going to hit me right across the hamstring. Okay? But just let your hand go, almost like you're just keeping it in that okay. Whip it around and just let the sword go. And I don't care if it hits me low or anywhere else tonight. It's just so you can get the feel of it. Right? Do it again, and then stop once you hit. Okay? So that's good, right? But think about my big shield. You've hit me up here. If for you to hit me here, I'm going to have my shield up like this. It's not impossible, right? But the target that you're going to be aiming for is down here, okay? Because the idea is they aren't really moving, and you're exploiting just that little cutout on your shield, okay? It'd be harder with you because your shield doesn't have that, but it really is. So just relax and just throw it right into my leg. Yep, do it again. Perfect. Okay? So it's real tight. It stays tight until it just flips over. There's a bunch of different variants. There's a lot of different ways you can throw it. Okay? We're not going to worry about any of this tonight because it'll just fuck you up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my shield on, and I want you to throw a couple of those with the shield in there. And there's, like I said before, there's not a right or a wrong way to learn how to do this stuff. You need to listen to everybody who's teaching you and absorb the things that work the best for you. There's also lots of different ways of throwing the same blow. None of them are wrong. Right? We're just doing really simple techniques that work for the majority of fighters that build off of what you have learned how to do so far. So it's just like throwing that leg chop, except you're just gonna, when you feel it start to get over your shoulder, you're gonna just let it drop. Okay? All right, you ready? Yep. Go ahead and throw it. Okay. So throw it a little lighter this time. Okay. Right? Because I really want you to get the target in. So the first time with a great shot, but you hit some of the shield, right? So now I want you to, as you go to throw it, I want you to drop into a squat, like you're on a squat rack, all right? So that your shot comes down below the edge of my shield and hits me more in the leg and less in the back. Okay? Nothing wrong with that shot, but it's a tighter angle. Turn, and as soon as you see my, and if my shield's going to stay up there for the headshot, that's when you just roll it second. Keep it real tight. You're going to be right in the leg. Perfect. Okay. So you're hitting a natural crease on my body. You're hitting me on my leg, connecting them with my butt. And that's a great spot to hit because it's the physics of it stop the sword. It can't go beyond those two big muscle groups. There's a lot of target there to hit, right? So that's a good spot. Get in your guard. That's here, okay? So it's hitting a little shield. I drop my knees. There, all right? So let's do that a couple times. Just the leg. Don't worry about the head. Yep. Do it again. Yep. Yep. Okay. Now I want you to step offline, just like you're throwing that leg blow, except to throw the leg wrap.
Okay.
Okay. Very protective, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not really exposed. Your sword isn't in front of your body. It's like a shield in between you and the opponent. You're just exploiting it. All right. That's That's all, so that's what you work on over the next week, just do that.
Okay.
Okay?
Great.
And we'll tweak it and
Yeah.
teach you a bunch of, like, here's how you throw it better, et cetera, et cetera. So just do that.
Okay.
Do that a million times.
Great.
That's it.
Super.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Billy, let's go.
Do it.
Let's do it. All right, Tina.